Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to be talking to an international thought leader on real estate about one of the hottest housing markets in our lifetime. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, about a year ago when the pandemic kicked off, none of us knew what was going to happen to the housing market. Who could have dreamed that 2020 would be one of the best years in real estate in our lifetime? And 2021 is off to a very fast start. To talk about that today, an international thought leader on real estate, Robbie Briggs. He is the president and founder of Briggs Freeman, Sotheby's International Realty. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, I'm honored and a little bit intimidated because this man is truly a visionary, and we're going to take you through a kind of a "This Is Your Life, Robbie Briggs" show. But we should say before you got into real estate, you wanted to be an architect.
Yes, since I was 8 years old, I had determined I wanted to be an architect, and all I did, I drew all kinds of buildings. I built all kinds of models. I got off to college and I got my master's in architecture and got out. But nobody had told me you can't make a very good living at it. And I had a wife and a baby, and so I was like, I got to think of something else. And actually, my father started our company in 1960, but real estate then was so different than it is today. There were like 10, maybe 12 ladies that answered the phone and then did a little business. And he sat in the back drinking scotch and playing gin. And we had one secretary that smoked and used a manual typewriter, and so life was very different. You had to go pick up keys. You used a book. Anyway, I came along and I said, I don't really want to be a realtor, but I need to do something to pay the bills until I figure out what I'm going to do. And lo and behold, I fell in love with the business, and I enjoyed, helping the other agents. I immediately got a pager, and they were all like, "What do you want a pager for?" And I was like, well, somebody can page me, and I can stop at the 7-Eleven and make a phone call. So when I get home to my wife and baby, I don't have a stack of pink slips like that to, return phone calls. I was off. And first I did that. Then I got the first phone to, carry around in a suitcase. And I've always been kind of wanting to find out what is the next technology and what is the thing that's going to make the business easier and serve better our clients. And so that part of it's been fun for me. I've also loved marketing. I love marketing, and that's probably the architecture in me. And then, and I love helping people grow their business. I personally do not list and sell. I did that for a season, but then I made the determination that I could probably attract the best agents if I wasn't competing with them. So I'm still a rainmaker. That's my number one job, is to bring business in and manage big projects and whatnot. But I involve the agents to do the work, and so they appreciate that.
Let's talk about Sotheby's, because you were kind of rocking and rolling, doing your own thing. It's scary when you join with another company.
Yeah. Well, a little background on that was, yes, we had been in Dallas since 1960. Our company was doing very well. I had not that long ago merged my company with another company, and that the head of that was a man named Charles Freeman, therefore Briggs Freeman. And we did that together for 18 years and had a lot of success and a lot of fun. And then my wife and I took a sabbatical, and we went for 3 years and lived in China. So we lived in Beijing. We have 5 kids. We took our last 2, both daughters. One was a senior in high school, one was a sophomore, and put them in the International School of Beijing. And I wanted to help some organizations that I knew about there. So we really took a sabbatical from real estate, except I would fly in probably 4 or 5 times a year and meet with developers and oversee the marketing and whatnot. I felt like I was the luckiest guy in the world. I was getting to do something that I was passionate about, and I was getting to do business. And so it was a great season. And I told my office, I felt just as led to come home as I did to go. And I told my office in September of 2008 that I would be home in December. October of 2008 happened. Lehman Brothers collapses, the economy collapses. And my partner, who was 15 years older than I was, said, I'm not interested in going through another big downturn. So we started talking about me buying him out. And along that same line, in 2009 and 10, or the beginnings of 10, the market had really dried up, and particularly the high end of the market, which is sort of what our company specializes in. And so I was only seeing people that were coming here from Mexico, maybe China, maybe Europe, maybe Canada. They were the ones that were buying expensive properties. And in my mind, I said, nobody in Frankfurt, Germany, or Monterrey, Mexico, has ever heard of any of my competitors or me. They all know Sotheby's. And Sotheby's was doing a very good job up along the East Coast and on the West Coast, but hadn't really connected in the center of the country. So I was one of the first to join in the center of the country. And I also knew that we were a one-office company. And I knew that I really wanted to expand in different markets. And my name, it was well known in the center part of Dallas. Park Cities, Preston Hollow, Bluffview, Lakewood, all that. But I wasn't known in Southlake, and I certainly wasn't known in Fort Worth, and I wasn't known in the far north suburbs of Dallas. But again, Sotheby's was. So once we aligned ourselves with Sotheby's, then we started growing very quickly in Fort Worth and Southlake and Plano, and we've had a great deal of success.
Robbie, it's very impressive, and there's a wonderful video that was put together a few years ago. Let's go ahead and put that on the screen now.
When I say that I believe in relationships rather than transactions, it's all about our clients. Our clients are sophisticated, our clients are internationally traveled, and they have real needs, and we need to meet those needs. They're great negotiators, they're compassionate, they're intelligent. They're the kind of people that you would trust one of your biggest assets to. You'd trust your business to this quality and this caliber of agent. Every house is different, and every agent will come and assess what is the best way for that property to sell the fastest and get the most for that property. Why it's important for clients to list with Sotheby's International Realty is the exposure that they get. When they list their property, it automatically is seen by 600 offices around the world, 49 countries. It will go into the websites of the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, periodicals in China, South America. Every day, I hear stories in here every day that someone from Sweden, someone from France, someone from Tokyo has looked on our site and they've actually come and bought a property. We're one of the few real estate firms that has a true marketing department. We have about an 8 to 10 man marketing department, from digital to social media to print, and we can couple that strength with a project. I think pictures say much more than 1,000 words. So photography is incredibly important to us. We start there with great photography that goes on our website, that goes in social media, that goes into the print ads. And when we do great photography, people recognize it. The more eyes that we bring to our website is to bring more people through our listings and through our properties, so that the seller gets the best exposure and ultimately the best price. We have not always been the biggest company, but we are one of the most progressive. We know that we can help developers because we have a good sales team and a good marketing team, and the two of those blended are what reach results. We adopted a mission statement that our firm stands by, and it's, we live to give the extraordinary in all we do as we serve our clients, our community, and world. If it wasn't for our clients, we wouldn't have a business. It's all about people. It's all about the clients. It's all about trying to find what they want for their lives. And if we can help in any way, that's our job.
Well, you can see it. That was done several years ago. Nobody's wearing masks. So that brings us to COVID.
Yes, here we go. COVID.
Because, everybody's having a good time. Everybody's at the office. They have their routine. And then COVID happens. So tell me about that.
Well, in fact, we had just moved into our new office space. We have 2 floors at a building at 3131 Turtle Creek, and we had just moved in. And everybody was coming to the office every day, and we have a big cafe that people were mingling in, and the networking was going great. And then COVID hit. And on March 16th, I woke up that morning and I said, we got to close. We got to shut the office down. So we made that decision. And, I'm sure you felt the same way. Everybody felt it. We had no idea how it was going to affect us. And, we've been through downturns before, but I was like, wow, this could be really, really severe. And clearly, the thing we had to do was we had to go virtual. We had to go digital. And fortunately, our marketing department was already kind of there. I mean, we were doing a lot digital, but we had to tweak it a little bit. So all of a sudden, we're holding open house, offerings
Sure.
on Sunday, and having to teach our agents, just like you would have to teach me how to do this. We were having to teach our agents how to be comfortable and relaxed and start opening up houses and talking through them. And frankly, I hope I know we will go back to that, but I love the fact that no longer do we have the responsibility of somebody coming in unknown and, hurting the agent or stealing property or
Yes.
whatever. To me, it's great. And the homeowner gets to stay home on Sunday and watch football, where the agent can do that filming on a Wednesday, during the middle of the day. So I love that, and I hope that we continue to do a lot of that. But really, what was remarkable, the market slowed down tremendously in March and April. But in May, all of a sudden, it started ticking up. And people started buying houses, never even coming to Dallas, buying them from different parts of the country,
Wow.
Sight unseen, because they were moving here. And, and the agents were walking them through with a camera or something like that, and they were like, write it up. And so we started seeing that. The title companies had to learn how to do things virtually. We were closing contracts in masks out on the hood of the car. And so everything changed. But all of a sudden, a couple things really, in my mind, happened. One, everybody was at home. They had nothing else to do. They started watching. They got on the internet. They started looking at all the things we were posting. And here again, Sotheby's was a huge help at that point, because I was having weekly meetings. I meet regularly with the top 10 Sotheby's owners across the country. And we were having meetings every week. what are we doing? How are you doing that? If you're having an open house, what's making it work? Should we use YouTube? Should you use Facebook? We were just having to learn, and we learn from each other, and we go, and we design something really great, and we just send it to you, and you change the logo, and you take it. We were sharing back. That kind of synergy was happening between us, which was a huge help. But the homeowners were staying at home, looking on the internet. And we know that 95% of buyers start on the internet. So we are always very keen on having great photography, good videos, and things like that. So they were seeing it. They were getting excited. And they're sitting there in a room where their wife is trying to run her business and he's trying to run his business and the dog's running in and out. And they're going, no, we need a different house. Right. We need something different. Right. Or they were going, we're stuck in the city. Why aren't we on a ranch? Our ranch division has exploded. I had dinner a couple nights ago with one of our top ranch guys, and he said, last year was my best year ever. I will already exceed it by June this year.
Well, speaking of ranches, you sold a little property.
We did sell a little property. You know, we were fortunate enough to be involved with the sale of the Wagner Ranch. And that happens to be 525,000 acres in right around Vernon, Texas, 6 counties. It's an amazing place. The history and the lore on that were just incredible.
Well, you were telling me before we went on that you took a helicopter ride and you still didn't see it all.
No, we were up an hour and 15 minutes, and they told me I saw 10%. But you know, Teddy Roosevelt hunted there. The granddaughter's name was I'm drawing a blank. Electra. And Electra Wagner, and the head of GM came down, had dinner there, and met this 5-year-old little girl and thought, Electra, I love that name. Of course, he went back and named the Electra Buick after her.
No kidding.
Yeah, and now there's a plane named an Electra, same thing. But then she turned out to be a world famous sculptress. And she did sculptures of all the presidents, and you know, it's just amazing history.
Fascinating. Well, let's, you know, you're the guy that the media runs to when they need a quote. There's a nice Dallas Morning News article featuring you and your amazing company, and it talks about the pandemic. As you look into your crystal ball, how long do we ride this? Is this going to go on for years?
Well, what we're riding right now in Dallas, Texas, is the amazing influx of Californians, New Yorkers, Chicagos, all the places where taxes are ridiculously high and their states are maybe not being run the way that Texas is. We're fortunate to be here. We're fortunate to have good leadership. We're fortunate to have business-minded politicians, and so they're coming here. And I have never seen the kind of relocation that's coming in these days, both to Dallas and Austin. Those are the 2 main cities it's affecting.
You're also a regular contributor to Forbes. We're going to put up on the, Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal.
Congratulations on that. How did you didn't know you were a journalist, did you?
Well, no, I didn't know I was a journalist, but you know, it's kind of a couple different things. When the market was really, really bad, we started reaching out to charities, because charities come to me and ask for donations all the time. And when things got really bad, we started reaching out to charities and saying, what can we do to help you? And so we began promoting them in different places, you know, the Dallas Morning News, Paper City, different periodicals. And it got used to kind of almost putting together, you know, news about charities. And the next thing I knew, we met with the Wall Street Journal and made a commitment that we would take every Friday the inside back cover of the mansion section, which was a new section for them. And we set it up to where a quarter of it is a story for me every week. And at first they were like, I'm not really sure that that's going to fly. But I started sending them what we were going to put. And they said, you know, we like this. And they like it so much that they run it nationally on a regular basis, and we're really just paying for the region.
Well, you got to feel good about that.
I feel real good about it. And it's funny because I've got friends from all over the country that'll say, "Oh, I read your article about, whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, well, sorry."
Well, you and I are both fans of Why Texas. And
Yes.
So we're going to put the website up on the screen. Ed Curtis, tell me the story, because you're a founding member of Why Texas.
Right. Ed had this idea. He was a banker. He still is a banker. He was a banker, but he saw a need. Again, so many companies moving to Texas. They get here. This isn't recruiting companies. This is more, once the company is here, helping them to figure out the landscape.
Yes.
And so it's putting together several different leaders of industries, all different industries in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Houston. And then they interact with the new CEOs and introduce them to each other, and all of a sudden build this network that's very beneficial to them. They have a awards dinner every year to the top relocation companies that come. So it's a great organization, and then we get to meet all different kinds of people. So.
And the organization is only going to get stronger and stronger.
Right.
I think they call it the Tesla effect. When Elon Musk decided to move to Texas, that really made a
big
statement.
deal. That made a huge statement.
Yeah,
It really did.
Well, we're almost out of time. Is there anything you would like to finish with?
No, I want to say thank you for having me on. And
Well,
it's
no,
just
it was
it's
a pleasure, and you're just such a charming guy. And I was complimenting you on your smile before you came on. You're just a very kind person, and thank you
I
for your
appreciate
wisdom.
it. You bet. Thank you.
We're going to end with the website. BriggsFreeman.com is the website. Robbie Briggs, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet.
Great.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Great.